If you're in a dangerous situation and you're not frightened, then that means that you're mad.
Paul Niland has lived in Ukraine for 19 years. He joins us live from Kiev. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. I wish the circumstances for this chat were better, but we are where we are.
When we spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, Paul, you told us you weren't going anywhere. Is that still the case?
It is still the case, yeah. Just this morning, I created a makeshift shelter in the hallway of my apartment. I have a sofa there that I've turned upside down. If shelling comes close to where I actually live, then I'm surrounded by thick concrete, and there's no windows in that space as well. So, yeah, it's also draped with the Ukrainian flag too.
And, you know, there's a lot of high-rise accommodation in Kiev. Are you in one of those buildings, and do you feel safe in one of those buildings, if so?
I'm in one of those buildings, but no, nobody's safe here because the Russian shelling that's hitting my city is indiscriminate, and there are lots of residential buildings that are being hit. Nowhere is safe from Putin's onslaught, and I don't mind admitting when I get things wrong. I've got a lot of calls right about what was happening here, but I thought that Kiev was going to be beyond his imagination, that he could never in a million years dream of taking this city and holding this city, and I was absolutely wrong, and that is really testament to just how insane that man has gone.
When we spoke to you last, you were almost defiant. You said you were prepared to stand up and fight if needs be. You had a stab-proof vest. Do you still feel that way?
I feel that way more so. I did say to you, and I know that you guys were a little bit shocked about it, but I said that I would join the Territorial Defence Brigade, and I've actually been twice to sign up. I was there yesterday, and fortunately, they're blessed with an abundance of strength. There was a huge number of people who were at the recruiting center, and at that time yesterday in the afternoon, they were saying that if you don't have military experience, then right now we don't need you, and that makes perfect sense, right? They don't want some guy like me getting in the way, but the situation has deteriorated and it is worse, and the authorities have announced today that they're lifting all restrictions, including age restrictions, in fact, for people who can join the territorial defense. So I've got some practical things that I need to take care of this morning, and I'll probably go back there again this afternoon. Yeah, almost certainly I'll go back there this afternoon. Depends on what other things I have to take care of. I've got an article that I'm planning to write today, and I'll need to coordinate that with various people. So we'll see what happens.
Are you frightened, Paul?
If you're in a dangerous situation and you're not frightened, then that means that you're mad. Yeah, and what I'd said before was that I was frightened for the people in the east, because what I feared was that Russia would break out of the territories that they've already occupied in the Donbass, and that's where I thought the fighting was going to be. Although we could see the preparations with Ukraine being encircled from several sides, and what they've done, in moving down from Belarus, moving into the country across the Russian border, taking more towns and cities in the east, and then pushing north out of the occupied Crimean Peninsula as well, and then attempting to take Kiev. There is fighting going on in Kiev right now, and this all-out invasion. Of course, it's frightening. Yeah.
Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader, has said that sanctions are not enough, that he's target number one. Is there a feeling among Ukrainians that the international community is letting them down despite the announcements of sanctions yesterday? Is there a feeling that we are not doing enough to protect Ukraine and people like you who live in Ukraine?
It's a hard one to say. I mean, my approach has been for some time that Russia's actions to date, and I've said this 6 months ago and 2 years ago, Russia's actions against Ukraine to date warranted heavier sanctions. We shouldn't have waited for this assault on this peaceful country before we raised the cost to Russia. Or already what they were doing was bad enough. I saw yesterday that certain European countries are holdouts on disconnecting Russia from the SWIFT international banking system. Holding out for what? How many more missiles have to fall? How many more people have to die before that step is taken. So, yeah, I mean, there is anger. With regard to Zelensky and the threat to him, what is important in this country is democracy. We take our democracy very, very seriously. We will elect whoever we want, whether it's a chocolate entrepreneur or a comedian. That is the choice of the people of Ukraine. And these people will not be governed by a Kremlin-installed puppet regime. It's not going to happen.
Well, we wish you all the best, Paul. Stay safe. That is Paul Niland there. He's lived in Ukraine for 19 years and, as he says, he's staying put.